let's get into Holland. This fucking movie. Um,
I
Holland.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I don't understand what I watched.
Yeah, that's accurate. Holland is a 2025 American psychological thriller film directed by Mimi Cave. If you don't know who Mimi Cave is, well, okay then. Oh shit, she directed Fresh. Have you seen Fresh? It was like my favorite movie of 2022.
I don't think I've seen Fresh.
When we're done here, go watch Fresh. You'll thank me for it in the morning.
Okay.
But her Wikipedia page is one sentence long. Mimi Cave is a filmmaker best known for directing the horror film Fresh and the mystery film Holland. Fantastic.
All right.
I swear somebody will let me direct a film, having only directed one film in my life. Um, Anywho, it was written by Andrew Sadrowski and it stars Nicole Kidman, who I love. I think Nicole Kidman is also another like underrated actress. She is a phenomenal talent, and she elevates anything that she's in. She is a performer, but she also does, because she doesn't do kind of the sexy stuff. And I say that with the full knowledge that she just did a sex movie called Baby Girl. But
I'm
but
trying to think of where I know her from, but you keep. Oh, Eyes Wide Shut.
yeah, Eyes Wide
Yeah.
Shut. I think she was in Moulin Rouge.
She was.
Yeah.
Practical Magic.
Yep. She used to be married to Tom Cruise. She wasn't she like either Genie or Bewitched, one of those two.
I'm going through the list. She was in Batman Forever.
She was. That is correct.
Oh, Bewitched.
Yeah. So Nicole Kidman is one of these people. She doesn't always take like the big name, high IP, sexy roles, but she's in a lot of really interesting and fun stuff. So yeah, she's a really great actress. She's the best thing about this movie by far. It also stars Matthew McFadden and Gail Garcia Bernal. The story follows a woman, Kidman, who thought she had the perfect family life, but it turns out to be a twist after she sets out to find out if her husband, who's played by Matthew McFadden, is cheating on her, leading to unsuspecting consequences. The film premiered at South by Southwest Festival on March 9th, 2025, and was released on Amazon just a few weeks later. It received mixed to negative reviews from critics. I am not fucking surprised.
Yeah.
This thing came in at 108 minutes, and I had to watch it twice because the first time I fell asleep about midway through. And I woke up, and my girlfriend's like, I don't understand what we're watching, but this happened, this happened, this happened, and you pick weird movies. And I'm like, that's fair.
I had to do the same thing. I ended up... Okay, I took a little bit of an edible, but also, like, I was sitting there, fell asleep one time, and then got the rundown. I still don't know. I thought it was just because I was a little dumb at the moment, but no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I honestly, the movie I had in my head was much more interesting than the movie actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just get into the plot synopsis so we can talk about this. So Nicole Kidman is, I believe, a teacher, and she's married to an optometrist, and they have a son, and they have just the most perfect white people life you ever saw. They live in Holland, Michigan, the capital of white people stuff. Kind of reminds you of Norway. There's like tulip festivals and shit, and they do a lot of, ode to Norway kind of things. Holland is Norway, isn't it?
Yes. We're so good at geography. Hold on.
We are. Now I'm not sure. Damn it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. And it doesn't really say in the Wikipedia. Just talks about the Tulip Festival.
Netherlands.
I was close. Dutch. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. I was confusing Norway with the Netherlands. That's what I was doing. Anywho. So anyway, so she's living this nice suburban life, and she's playing. It takes place in the year 2000, but it could have been in 1950 the way they are all behaving.
It was very old school.
Yeah. But it's definitely the kind of movie that's just like, wouldn't everything be better if everyone lived far away from the hustle and bustle of cities and settle into a very, very sheltered, very secluded suburban area where nothing happens. If we all go to a place where nothing happens, we'll all be safe and happy. That's this movie. This movie takes place in an 80s movie is what it does.
Yeah.
It takes place in the same universe as like 16 Candles. So anyway, however, the fly in the ointment is that her husband keeps saying that he's got to go away on these trips, and he's an optometrist. He's not a traveling salesman. There's no reason for him to be going on all of these trips, but yet he does. And she gets suspicious of him, and so she thinks, well, it must be because he's having an affair. So she employs her teacher friend to help her spy on the husband, and because she's also a bored housewife, feeling trapped by the mundanity of suburbia, they have an affair. Because what better to solve the problem of boredom than by cheating on your spouse?
Even when you think that your spouse is cheating on you.
Exactly, because two wrongs make a right.
Yes, absolutely.
Make the next four lefts. That's a circle. Just an aside, that actually happened once. A friend of mine a female friend of mine was driving a bunch of my friends home when we were in high school, and I don't know if you picked this up about me, but my friends and I in high school were jerks.
I can see that.
Yeah, we were assholes.
You seem like the asshole type.
I absolutely am. So thank you. And so she's like, all right, guys, tell me where to turn. And my friend just goes, make the next four lefts. And the other one yells out, that's a circle. And, and she threatened us that if we didn't give her proper instructions, she was throwing us all out on the side of the road, which was the right response.
That's exactly what she should say.
Yes. So anyway, so she's cheating on her husband that she thinks is cheating on her. And as it turns out, what he's actually doing is murdering people. He's a serial killer, you see. Now, the big hook with this movie, other than it's Holland, Michigan, not Holland, the Netherlands, is that he has this diorama of the town. And I'm not kidding, because there's a hallucination scene where I thought the town itself was this diorama, and that by the use of magic or some sort of sorcery was keeping her trapped in this make-believe town that he was keeping in his house.
I feel like that would have made for a much more interesting movie.
Right?
He controlled who lives or dies. He basically plays God.
Yeah.
But it's a diorama.
Yeah, the whole thing is she has to, the Matrix. She has to escape the fake world, and he ends up in the real world, and he wants to try to get her back in the fake world because that's where he is master and ruler of things, and he has the pretty wife. Yeah, that's what I thought this movie was. Nope, turns out, like all good serial killers, he likes to leave clues so he'll get caught eventually. And the diorama is a representation of the places in which he's killed people. That's what the Wikipedia told me. I did not put that together by myself.
Nope, not at all. Actually, that sounds like a Criminal Minds episode. But
yeah, so she gets the guy she's cheating on her husband with to murder him, like you do, and he doesn't murder him, but he says that he did. And so when the husband turns up later, Nicole Kidman shits her pants, and then she's like, "What? I thought we killed him." He's like, "Well." The word kill gets thrown around a lot these days. And she's like, oh, this is ridiculous. And so she ends up confronting the husband. And the husband's like, let's just go back to the house. And you go back to being an oblivious housewife. And I'll go back to doing what I'm doing. And we can pretend none of this ever happened. How about that? And she says, I hear what you're saying, but what if I shoot you in the face? Which I find is a good counter argument to most discussions.
Yeah. You have that, I raise you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, here I believe a woman's right to choose. I believe in shooting you in the face. I understand what you're saying. So, I could have used any political issue there. I went with that one. So anyway, so she shoots him in the ear, and
Mhm.
he, much like Poor Things, the best line of Poor Things is just like women. They talk and they talk and they talk, and there's no choice left but to pull a gun. He goes, he goes. I love you. You're amazing. You're just the most wonderful person, but you deserve this. And fires across the eyes. This backhands the shit out of her. And so they're fussing and a fighting. She's told the kid to run. And then in the distance, you hear a gunshot. And, eventually she kills him, and they all live happily ever after.
I guess.
Yeah.
And it just that's all she wrote.
Yep. Um, yeah. I mean, the last line of the Wikipedia summary: Harry escapes from the car, and Nancy kills Fred in the ensuing scuffle. So, Mick, what did you think of Holland?
I'll tell you this. I feel like if this does get a following and it gets popular, it's only gonna be like asshole movie buffs who are like, well, you need to see this movie. It's such like an intellectual
I
film.
believe the phrase you're looking for is movie chads.
Yes.
Okay.
So, overall, it was a movie.
There are so many movies that deal with the banality of white suburban life. I I feel like this was going for that, but what if we amped up the style? And what if we don't direct Nicole Kidman and we just let her go for it?
Just do it. Just do something.
It feels like this was a short film, and they just and Mimi Cave just fell in love with Nicole Kidman and just kept filming her.
It would have been so much better as a short film.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of really stretched out scenes that didn't need to be as long as they were.
It was.
And I can tell you that's why it kept losing me.
I feel that it was a lot of nothing happening at the same time until like a certain point. But even then, it was not. It did not grab my attention long enough.
And there was a lot of building things up to things that don't really pay off at the level that they were built up to. When she starts digging into her husband's stuff and she finds out what she finds out, you would have thought that she had found out in that moment that Soylent Green was made of people, but it's not that. It's it's really weird. The movie does this really weird thing where it amps up the tension, sort of Hitchcockian style, and then immediately deflates it to where it's almost like tonal whiplash.
And if they were going for a misdirection kind of thing, then there's much better ways to do that.
I also I think it's funny. The more I think about it in just the seconds since you've said it, the more I think you've got something there about this being the kind of movie that film nerds and film bros, two different distinctions of film people, this is the kind of movie that sort of invites fought intellectualism. You know the guy that's that's got they made a joke about this in the Barbie movie, and I laughed hard about it because I can laugh at myself, unlike some of my other male counterparts who have the thinnest skin you've ever seen. When they're like, how will we distract the men? We'll sit with them and have them watch The Godfather and explain it to us.
Yes.
I'm sure being a young, attractive gal in the year of our Lord 2025 have had something similar to that experience.
Yeah. Well, quite a few people.
Yeah. So I feel like this is that kind of movie, but it doesn't nearly have the intellectual heft of The Godfather.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it's nowhere near The Godfather, but
no, but it's one of those things where it's this to people who who got passable grades in an honors English class think is deeper than it really is. And I think Mimi Cave was trying to make something more of this than it really was, because this feels like a script that's actually, my first thought when I was watching this was this a script I can't talk these days. Was this a script that was rejected by M. Night Shyamalan? This was sitting in some studio executive's desk, and they were like, "Well, we gave it to Shyamalan because it's got a twist," and and he said no, thank you. So what about the broad that directed Fresh? Let's see what she can do with this.
We've got nothing to lose. Why not?
Yeah, it is the. I'll tell you this: it is the perfect movie to be straight to streaming.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no way it would do anything in theaters.
No. I'm surprised by some of the movies that go to theaters these days, but for all of the independent, Death of a Unicorn or Friendship, those are some of the ones that have been out this year or out currently. That are independent but are still getting a theatrical release. Like, I don't even think this one's like that good enough. This one is just weird enough to, I think, people would be interested in to watch at home. So I think, I'm not surprised Amazon picked it up, probably for a song, and it was just like, yeah, Nicole Kidman's a pretty face. It's a one-word title. We'll get some nice artwork on it. People will, we'll throw it on our streaming service and people will watch and it'll be just fine. Outside of that, the only thing I really want to say is Nicole Kidman, like I said, is the best part about this movie. She gives a phenomenal performance. She elevates a lot of stuff that I think is kind of dry and overwrought. And she was about the only thing that kept me invested in this movie, because I like good performance and I enjoyed watching her. I'll give you the last word on this and then we'll move on.
She's a really good actress. I don't think people think about her a lot. But I don't have much to say about this movie anyway. I've said my piece.
Yeah. I'm putting this comment on here to make you laugh.